intersection of good drinks, good music, and good times. This is Hops and Spirits Bar Conversations.
Like I've been teasing, we're getting very, very close to 200 episodes of Bar Conversations. It's been a wild ride, and we have another fun episode as we have a singer-songwriter, artist-songwriter, truthfully. His latest release, Cadillac Coupe, is out now, and it's a song that I really enjoy. Let's welcome in Jake Banfield.
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, I love the song, love the songs that you've been putting out, so I'm excited that we were able to connect, and I think we're going to have some fun tonight.
Well, I love having fun, so I'm all in, bro.
Well, you know, this is Bar Conversation, so I literally start off every episode with the same question. What's your go-to drink, or what are you drinking tonight?
Perfect. That's actually a great question. So I'm a Cabernet Sauvignon guy. I like wine. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I like wine. Now, I'd be lying if I said I didn't dabble into whiskey a little bit or some beer. But I've just found my 24 years of life, the wine is the perfect buzz for me. I don't wake up hungover. It's smooth. It goes good with dinner. So I'm a Cabernet Sauvignon, and I'm a cheap one too. I like if I want to get weird, celebrate something, I'll get an expensive bottle. But I think like the $10, $8 bottles, they do me just fine. Feel the same way. And then I have zucchini and squash that I burn on purpose because I like the crunch, and I get judged for it by all my boys. But that's the combo tonight, veggies and red wine.
You know, that is A-okay. So I have some whiskey. I have a little Penelope bourbon. It's the Rio blend, and the reason I did this is because you like to mix up stuff. You blend some genres. So this is a bourbon finished in honey and amberana barrels.
That sounds phenomenal. If I was there, I would definitely join you in that. That sounds real good.
Now, it's funny you mentioned you're a Cab Sauv guy because, you know, for the longest time I didn't like wine. You know, I did like the cheap, like Barefoot or whatever it was back in the day. Like, it had to be super sweet, and that's about all I could drink. Took a trip down to Argentina and Malbec, another red wine.
Yep.
Oh, man. Fantastic. Granted, I think they just drink wine and red meat, and that's it. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, that's a great combo. But, I actually did the same thing when I started, like the young college days. You get the very cheap Barefoot, and I drink the sweet stuff, but I would like literally wake up with a hangover because all the sugar. And I was like, all right, I don't want to do this. So then I started dabbling into red, like the Merlot and Malbec and the Cabernet Sauvignon. It's perfect for me. It's a perfect balance, perfect buzz. Everything is I'm all in. So the goal one day is to get my own Cabernet Sauvignon, and the rest will be his.
I like it. See, those are good goals. I love those goals.
There it is.
I was going to say, you just might have to, buddy up to one of the wineries and see what you can do.
That's the goal, bro. You said it, you heard it right here. I don't even think I've ever said that. That's going to happen, and let's hope I manifest it right now.
I like it. Now, I know we're going to talk music here in a little bit as well, and we'll see if wine or any alcohol ever comes around again. But I heard you were growing up. You were pretty good on the basketball court.
Well, I spent about 17 years of my life doing it, so I would hope that I did something pretty good when it comes to basketball, because it's been a lot of time, a lot of sweat, a lot of blood, a lot of tears, a lot of everything in there. I'd go as far as to say, I don't know how this hasn't been a thing, but if Nashville had like a 1v1 tournament, like a country artist tournament, like the winner of one-on-one donates to the charity, I would put my money up against anyone humbly. I mean, I'm very humble, but I feel good about the time I've put in, and I'd like to, that should be a thing. So whoever comes up with that, I need a percentage for sure, because that would be a vibe.
I was going to say, I mean, I know Craig Campbell's got his cornhole tournament, all that during like CMA week. Maybe that's what Jake does.
Maybe it might be my thing, and I'm going to try to win it. If it's me, I'm going to try to win my tournament every year.
I mean, so obviously, basketball, if you're doing basketball that long, I know you're putting in time. You're putting in time on the court. So when did music, did you ever have time for music growing up? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, dude, honestly, I just listened to it, and I led singing in church, like a couple of months a year, but it was never
during the off season.
Yeah, right. It was never a thing. it was never going to be a career. It was literally basketball. I was going to be a coach, teacher, or a broadcaster, something to do with basketball, recruiter, scout, didn't matter. And then, life took a 360. But I grew up singing in church a little bit, but no, it was never a thing that was going to be a career.
Now, was anyone else in your family musical? Like, I mean, or did they just like music? You know, have it on, listen, things like that.
A lot of my family had really good taste. My uncle Jeremy played a little bit guitar and sang. Apparently, I have an uncle that I did not meet. He passed away, but he was a guitar player in Tulsa that was crushing it. And my mom plays a little piano. No one's like, it's not their thing. No, I don't have anyone in my family. It's like they're doing it. But I mean, I got a little talent in the family for sure.
Well, and I was going to say, you mentioned that obviously things took a turn, and sometimes that's how it happens. You know, I've talked to folks that, you know, they were going down the athlete path or something else, and obviously an injury or something, they were like, you know, maybe that's not it. And that's what happened for you, right? An injury in basketball, and it was kind of game over, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was an injury to my knee, and then I got help. I was like in rehab trying to get my knee back. And ended up dabbling into getting a guitar at a pawn shop, and started teaching myself while I was recovering, and then recovered and came back. My knee was ready to go. I was like, all right, I lost my minutes, lost my spot. It's time to gain it back. And then like 5 days later, we get sent into quarantine. So basketball was over. Coach said 2 weeks, and obviously no one knew. It turned into 2 years. So that's literally how it went down. It was crazy.
And like you said, you literally bought a guitar from a pawn shop, and obviously a few other things. Everything changed for you.
Yeah, dude. It was. I've always been the type where I need to be on the go. I need something to do. ADHD, I guess, would be probably the word for that. And so while I'm sitting in my dorm room, not really able to move my knee, there's like not very many options. You can play on your phone, play video games. You can always play guitar, sitting down. So I chose that one because the other two I've already done. You know, I wanted to try something new, and I wanted to try to get good at something or learn something new, and that's what it was. And I bought the worst guitar of all time, but shout out, it was very cheap. I had no money and made it work, and then started teaching myself how to play, and that's how it went down.
Do you still have the guitar?
I do, yeah. It's at my house in Oklahoma, my parents' house, so it's still there, and every once in a while I'll go play a couple songs on it, but it's rough, man. I think its time's probably up, but it's gonna stay around. It's just gonna be in the corner and hang out.
I like it. A little memento on you know, memory when how things changed, and you know, obviously you're in Nashville, and we'll get to that journey there. But what music did you grow up on?
Oh, great question. Oh, I have a freaking Def Leppard shirt on right now, so that was not planned either. So I did grow up on 80s hair rock, like hair band. My mom and dad were like super into everything. So 80s hair band rock music, 90s hip hop, 2000s R&B, 2000s hip hop, a lot of country music, church hymns, literally everything that like any genre I was probably listening to. Shout out to my parents. I dabbled into everything growing up, everything.
So what were the first songs then that you learned on the guitar?
So the first song I learned, which was like 3 chords in the truth, was Pretty Heart by Parker McCollum. Because that song was big right when it was getting big, or it was big not too far after I learned how to play. So Pretty Heart, Parker, Sinning With You by Sam Hunt. I mean, that's kind of a cool one. Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, which Luke Combs recovered too. Those were like the main ones, which they're kind of all different lane, but those were the first ones. Whatever was kind of a little easy to play, I remember that.
Well, and then you mentioned Tulsa. You grew up in Oklahoma. So what impact did that have on you, with whether it was music or just life in general?
Oh, dude, yeah. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Obviously, music-wise, it was crazy. The radio. The radio's playing, and a lot of people on there are from Oklahoma. I mean, in country music, like Garth Brooks and Blake Shelton, rest in peace, or Toby Keith, rest in peace, and Blake Shelton, and now you got like the Zach Bryans and Carrie Underwood. There's a lot of music that was kind coming in my ears at a young age on the radio. So music wise, it was really cool to see. I obviously, like I said, I wasn't planning on doing music, but it was like cool to see people from towns I was near being famous and superstars. And then lifestyle wise, Oklahoma is I love it to death. There's a lot of inspiration. People say it's boring, and the people that say that just didn't find the right places to go, because you can find a lot of cool spots in Oklahoma, and cool places to write, cool places to write things about. You know, it's just I'm all in. So it was everything. Yeah, Oklahoma. I'm gonna go back at some day and get some land and spend my time out there, raise my kids, and I love it.
Well, you talk about how much love you have for there. Obviously, I'm guessing, you know, being in a place like that, family's super important. So what's it like, you know, having family by your side and kind of having that support?
I have literally right next to my desk office. It's like, this is what I work to. Like, they're everything to me, dude. You know, moving away at like, what was I, 21? I think it was 21 or 22. Was just, I mean, it was hard because I'm super close and they're so supportive. I have amazing parents, amazing siblings, and moving away was tough, but they were so supportive and wanted me to chase my dreams. And they knew that Nashville was the best spot to do it at the time of my life. And so I'm thankful for them. Everything runs through them. I do all I do for God and for them. And so I can't thank them enough.
Well, and I was going to say, you know, if you check out your social media, you know, from time to time, you'll have your younger sister on there. How special is she?
Dude, it's funny you're asking, because I have this I have my picture. I'm a picture guy. I like to work, and then when I'm done working or lunchtime, I like to like see pictures like sis. So we got the vibes. My brother's here too, so I love him as well. But my sister's amazing. She's like 10 years younger than me. So that was interesting to bring like a little human into my life, like whenever I was 11 or 10, and now we're just as tight as it could be. And she's like an incredible gamer, and then now she's getting into basketball, and she's becoming really good at basketball. So it's awesome to see that, and it's just it brings a new energy into your family whenever you, like, my brother's getting married and I'm off in Nashville. But now you have like this 13-year-old that's about to start high school and start playing sports. It's just, there's a lot to look forward to. And yeah, she's my world. That's my girl. So love her to death.
I was gonna say, I love the pictures. I think that is awesome to have something to always just, you know, catch your eye every now and then. And I'm guessing, you know, like you said, you know, they're a big part. They have supported you so much. What was it like when you told them, hey, I want to give music a go after everything?
It was a little shocking to them because, like I said, no one in my family has done that as a career. But we were in quarantine, and, you know, they knew I had picked up the guitar when I was at college. And they saw that I was working pretty hard to, like, you know, I guess make it a career. They just saw I was working hard in music and trying to learn the guitar more, and then learning how to sing along with the guitar and then write good songs. So it was weird for sure. It was really, really weird. But, you know, like I said, they knew I was really passionate about it and was going to work for it. As long as I was working for it, they were like, all right, you're a grown man, you're 21 plus, you do whatever you want, man. Like you do it. And they've been supportive the whole way. Thank God for them. So yeah, it was definitely out of nowhere though. It really was. Yeah.
Well, and I was gonna say, obviously, what made you decide to kind of give it a shot full time and kind of see where it could go?
But yeah, dude, what it was is we got sent to, like I said, quarantine, and I knew I wasn't gonna be playing for ball at least for 2 years, and so I started doing social media and posting like songs that I was writing or songs that I wanted to cover, and I started gaining a little fan base from there, and people were commenting, and I was just kind of thinking to myself, well, everyone was bored, and like I was like, all right, I really have nothing else to do, and people are they seem to like kind of like this. Why not just give it a shot while I have nothing going on? Because there was really a career during COVID, the quarantine time, where like you could actually do a little something with the music on TikTok or Instagram, and that's what I saw. And then people started reaching out, teams, and I was like, okay, well, guess what? We're doing this.
Well, and did you ever expect, or actually, before I ask that one, What was it like when you started to see your followers grow on social media, and not by just a little, by a lot?
Yeah, no, that was insane. I really had no idea what I was doing when it came to music, and really to like you're right to see it like you go to sleep and then wake up and there's a lot more followers and a lot more likes, or a video gets a lot of views. You're just like, whoa, this is crazy. I mean, I just had never experienced that, and so for that to happen, and then like it just kept happening. I was like, we got to be doing something right or something wrong that people are entertained by. I was like, hopefully we're doing something right, and I feel like we are. But it was crazy, dude. I remember showing my family like a video that went viral, and like the first time you're just scrolling, and there's just people liking and commenting and following, and we're just like, dude, what's going on right now? Like, what is happening?
Well, and like I was gonna say, now you're over 1 million followers on TikTok. Did you ever imagine that?
No, not a shot, dude. Not a shot. If you would have told me that whenever I started, I would have called you crazy. I mean, I would have been fine with freaking 50,000. And it just, I mean, it kept going, dude. So, glory to God. I mean, that was insane. Yeah, it still is insane to see that there's that. I try to look at it. I try to live in the moment. And comparison is a thief of joy. So you don't want to compare yourself to other people with more followers. So how I live in the moment is like, okay, we got 1.1 million people following me, right? If I put 1.1 million people into a room or to a house, into an arena, and like they chose to follow you, it's a lot of people. And it's like, I'm thankful, man. I really am. I'm very thankful. It's insane. And I never expected it. Ever. 0% chance.
Well, to answer one of your earlier questions, I think it's because you're doing something good, not something too crazy.
Thank you so much. I needed that. Thank you.
You know, and like I said, you're in Nashville, and I'll ask how you got there in a second. But first, you were out in LA, I believe, right, for some songwriting back in like 2021 or 22, and you were able to collaborate with some cool artists out there.
Yeah, dude, that was a really cool experience. That was my first foot in the door. Team in LA had reached out and wanted to manage me, and like I said, I full basketball. I didn't know a soul in the music industry, and I was like, okay, this is a sign. So we did end up signing management with them, and they were in LA, like I said, and so we go out to write up there, or I did, and yeah, we ended up writing some really cool songs. I got to meet some incredibly talented people, and they kind of just showed me the way as I was just learning. I was just a sponge, and they were showing me what it's like to write a song and melody wise, and what it's like to record. And then we ended up getting cool cuts, and then yeah, that was a really cool experience. I'm not a huge LA guy. I'm going back at the end of this month. It's not much of my lifestyle, but I think there's great people out there, very talented people, great music out there. So I'm thankful for that time. It was a blessing.
But like I said, Nashville's kind of where home is nowadays. So
Yeah.
was it a week-long trip there to write that changed a lot of things for you?
Yeah, like I grew up in a really small town in Oklahoma, so I knew LA wasn't the vibe. So you can stay in Oklahoma and not get to be around as many. I mean, not even close to as many talented people. There's just so many people in Nashville. There's a lot in Oklahoma, but the amount in Nashville's crazy. So I was like, all right, it's about 9 hours from home compared to LA. Let me try a trip out here. And I love country music. I love the way it's written. I love everything about it. So yes, I did a week-long trip out there, and had a week's worth of sessions built up, and was doing a bunch of doubles in the day. And I just left that trip like, wow, this feels like Oklahoma. This feels like home. The recording, the writing, everything about it, the people. It's like, this feels right. So yeah, I ended up moving to Nashville pretty quickly, and it was an incredible decision. I love it out here.
Well, and you talk about how the songs are written, kind of style. I'll say, like with country music, I always feel like there's a story to be told.
Yeah.
Or on any type of good music, there's a story to be told. So is that kind of like your writing style, is kind of telling stories, and is it from personal experiences, ideas? Where does that come from?
Yeah, dude. Most of it's from personal experience. If I go on a trip or if I'm going through something in my life. But there's also like things where I write from my friend's perspective or my family. If they have something going on in their life and they need a little therapy session, I'll write it from my point of view, but it's actually their story. And yeah, so there's a lot of inspiration. I usually like to write about things that I'm going through. It just seems more authentic and unique, and I'm feeling it while I'm recording it. So it usually comes out feeling pretty, natural and so yeah, I enjoy writing that way. That's definitely my favorite.
Well, I was gonna say, obviously, you know, like I said, you put out a new song, Cadillac Coupe. You've been able to release several songs this year, but is it more fun to be like writing and kind of like producing and working with artists, or what's the most fun thing for you?
Yeah, so by far my favorite thing is playing shows because I 17 years I'm playing on a court in front of people. If you're doing good, you're gonna get cheered. If you're doing bad, you're gonna get booed. And the stage is the closest thing to that, and it feels like it takes that void that I don't have from basketball anymore. That's gone. So this is like the new one. I'm in front of a bunch of people, and I can go good or bad. I gotta play, gotta focus. And recording's incredible and writing's incredible with peers. That's a great part of the process. Don't get me wrong, but from how I grew up living, I want that energy and that kind of pressure and just expectation to perform, and that it's definitely on the stage. So that's definitely my favorite part.
Well, I was gonna say, you mentioned, you know, growing up on the court and everything, and that was kind of your outlet. You know, for the longest
Oh
time was
yeah,
the basketball court, and you know, I know obviously when things change, you know, obviously different things happen, and you know, mental health is something that I know you're really open about these days,
oh yeah.
and you know, why is that something that has become so important for you to talk about and share?
Yeah, dude. It's a big part of my platform and what I like to talk about because my pretty much growing up while I was an athlete, I didn't speak up about anything I was going through. It wasn't a thing that was popular to do, and I didn't think it was cool to do. I would just, like you said, if I was going through something, I'm gonna go get shots up or I'm gonna go play a game, and the rest will deal with itself at some point. Until you get sent into, you have an injury or something that I hadn't had like that, and you end up into the room by yourself, my dorm room, while everyone's at practice, and you're like, you get depressed, and I got depressed, and I felt anxiety about losing minutes, and I don't know what's going to happen with scholarship, all that stuff, and finally it got to like a dark spot to where I was like, I got to stop caring what I think people will think and like talk to someone because it doesn't feel good just staying in here. So finally decided to speak up to the family or to my friends, and it just changed everything. I mean, it's not a weakness to speak up at all, but growing up, I thought it was, and I just thought it was kind of not the vibe. I thought I'd be fine, but when you speak up, you're like, wow, I feel a lot better right now, and so my goal is just, I've been on the other side where I didn't speak up, and now I'm on the side where I do, and I'm all for it. And I want to just like share the message to people that do speak up that you're doing the right thing, and people that don't think they should or think it's a weakness, like bro or sister, whatever, do it. Speak up. Like speak up. It's great. You're gonna feel a lot better. And mental health is just it's a real thing. Everybody deals. Everyone has bad days, and so it's my message to just days will get better. You've made it through your hardest day already, and let's just keep going. Speak up, man. It's actually very cool and I'm all for it.
Well, and I was going to say, you know, you talk about, you know, sharing those personal experiences and things like that. I'm guessing, is that where something like the song "Boys Don't Cry" comes from?
100%. That's exactly where it comes from. Yeah, and the guy that wrote that with Jason Walker was also going through some really difficult times, and he's all for speaking up about it. And we got in that room. We wrote that song in like 45 minutes. That song was fast, and it just flooded. It just flooded. It was just real and authentic and what we felt. And that song pretty much wrote itself, is what it felt like. It was we wrote it. You like black out, and then the song is being recorded, and then it's done, and you're like, wow, like how did that happen?
Well, I was going to say, what's it been like to get the response that you have on a song like that? That, you know, is a little more maybe vulnerable, so to speak.
Sure. I mean, luckily, like I said with Jason, we knew we wanted to put it out. It wasn't scary, I don't think at all, because I just knew it was a good message. I knew it was a real message, and the response has been crazy. Just people like being able to save people's lives. Like I'm seeing messages where they're like, they were going through a really hard time and they played the song and the song saved them. That's all I can do, dude. You know, when I go 6 feet under one day, if I was able to save some people through my music and lyrics, and you know, I'm good, bro. I'm good. You know, I'll go be with my poppy in heaven very happily if that's being done. So yeah, dude, that's the response has been crazy. In a really good way, and I'm just thankful for my fans and anyone that it's been able to relate to it. And we're just gonna keep putting out real vulnerable music. That's just the vibe. I want to be authentic, and that's what we're gonna do.
Well, and then maybe a little bit on the other end of that spectrum, there is having a little bit more of a fun time. Is your latest song, Cadillac Coupe? How did that song come to be?
Yeah, dude. So that was like one of the first songs, maybe the first. I'd have to think. You know, that a song that was pitched to me. I usually like to write all my songs, and I start in the room. That song was pitched to me, um, and but it wasn't finished. It was like a verse one and a hook, and right from the top, I was like, "Yo, this sounds crazy. This is really good. Who wrote this?" And then it ends up being Ernest, who's one of the best songwriters in Nashville, and Pink Sweats, who's an incredible writer, and then my boy Dirty Rice, who I've worked with. And I was in the room with them, and that's when it got pitched. I was like, "Yo, this is crazy. Like, how has it not been cut?" Was what I was thinking, because it had been written 3 or 4 years ago, and they were like, it had went through a lot of different things, a lot of different hula hoops, and just didn't land with anyone. And people were about to. It felt like it was given to me, like it was a sign. And immediately when I heard it, I was like, "Yeah, I want that. We're gonna finish verse two." And I was like, "I want to put my boy Nella on it because he's gonna sound incredible. Hopefully, he'll do it." And so that's what we did. We did the verse one and the hook, and then wrote the verse two and the post chorus, and it was insane. So shout out to Ernest, Pink Sweats, and Dirty for making that song come to life. I mean, that was sick.
No, I was gonna say I that's when I heard that, that's kind of what made me go down the rabbit hole on a few things, and it's such a fun song. And what was it like to do the music video and kind of bring that to life?
Yeah, it was fire. Yeah, I've always, like I said, I grew up listening to hip hop music and pop music, and then country. So it was kind of like a blend, and it was so fun. Me and Noah had a great time. My boy Evan shot the video, which is coming out soon. By the time, actually, about perfect timing when this comes out. So I'm really pumped. The video's so cool, dude. I mean, we're just out there, we're being goofy. We have a little Cadillac in the video, and I mean, it's a vibe, dude. That song just feels good. It just feels like when I heard it, I was like, I need to go get in my car and roll the windows down and just cruise. I don't need to go too fast. I just need to cruise. And that's what I did. And I hope other people feel that way by how we finished it. But that song's a vibe. So thanks for checking it out and, saying something about it.
Well, see, I want to do that. I want to roll down my windows, but it's too hot.
It is too hot. You're right. It is real hot.
I was gonna say I just tried that the other day, and I was like, "We're 95 degrees. We're gonna roll the window back up, and we're gonna turn the AC on."
AC.
but
100%.
I'm ready for the cooler temps to do that.
That's right. Hopefully the song stays good enough to where you'll listen to it in the winter too, and the fall it'll be a vibe hopefully too. So yeah, that's exactly right. It is way too hot right now.
But you have so many different songs that you've been able to kind of put out, and Living on Lake Time, Hall of Fame, Whiskey Tasting, a few others.
Yeah.
But I feel like each one of those, along with Cadillac Coupe, Boys Don't Cry, that each shows a slightly different side of you, so to speak.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I think that's from one of the first questions you asked. My parents put tons of different music in my ears growing up. And so I just listened to a bunch of different genres and a bunch of different melodies, a bunch of different ways that songs were written. And whenever I started the creative process of like writing my stuff, it just naturally flows to where I have a bunch of different inspirations. I just want to do different types of stuff, and it comes out in the music for sure, because you're right, they all have different vibes. Some are ballad vibes, some are like acoustic, some are like hip hop, like feel good. And that's how I grew up. That's literally my life, is all those different types of music. And I just like, I like music that, I like artists that put out music that feel like seasons, you know, like a summer and a fall and a winter and a spring. And that's what I want my music to feel like, just versatile and what I really am. And that's just, I'm inspired by a lot of different types of sounds and musics and genres. And I try to put it all in a blend and put it out on my platform. So that's the vibes.
I was gonna say it's working because it's not so like they're not so drastic that you're like you get hooked on one song and you know then you hear another one and you're like, well, that's a whole different
Yeah.
artist. You know, you're able to kind of
Yeah, totally.
you're able to keep it all together. You know, I think a Hall of Fame. You know, I know you
Sure.
put that out around Mother's Day. How special of a song was that to kind of put together?
I've always been a mama's boy. I love my mom to death, but die for her right now. So I knew I wanted to write a Mother's Day song about her, and like that be her gift. So shout out Allison Belts Cruz and Dan Muckala. We wrote that song, and came in with the idea of like, you know, I want to write a song for mom. She deserves one, and I think all moms deserve one because I grew up in a sports background. And if you do the best at what you can in sports, you go to the Hall of Fame. And moms like obviously get to raise their children and get to have children, but if it was my choice, they should have a Hall of Fame, like place they can walk through and be celebrated, and you know, for their whole life. And that's what the vibe of the song was. Shout out mom, and you know, driving me all those different ball games, and now she gets to drive to shows, and that's a cool vibe, dude. It's really cool.
What was her reaction the first time you played that one for her?
She broke down. Yeah, she broke down, and it kind of made me emotional. I'm not like I will cry 100%, but you know, she just felt it. It's a real song. Like there's an Oklahoma road leads to the brooks where the pine trees grow, where Mama made a million memories inside 1,100 square feet. That is legit. The picture on that album cover is my house I grew up in, and there's all that stuff in that. That's exactly how it went. So shout out to Allison Belts Cruz and Dan Muckala. I told them all this stuff, and we were able to just blend it, and like that is a real story.
See,
So
and I think that's what's amazing about it. Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. That's what's amazing about songwriting because people can see that they can see the picture of everything put together, and it's so fun to see when
Yeah,
a song comes together.
100%. Yeah, I think it's just that's as real as it gets. And people that you know grew up around me or grew up near us, or you know, they're like, yeah, that's literally that's what happened. That's the vibe, and it's like that feels really good. It's cool to put it into a song, and then especially like moms, and it doesn't just go for my mom. Like moms can really relate to that hook, you know, because they're so unselfish and. They deserve more than the world. So, yeah, I'm glad we put that out on Mother's Day. And my dad was like, "Is you gonna be a Father's Day song sometime?" And I said, "Hey, if it happens, brother, it'll happen. You know, I love you. You know, but someday it'll happen. We'll get a Father's Day song because they deserve it too."
I was gonna say no pressure, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's awesome.
Well, and you get to share these songs. Obviously, like you said, one of your favorite things to do is get on stage, and you're about to go on tour, hit up a bunch of tin roofs. I
Yeah,
know recently you stopped by near me, not exactly near me. You're up at the Big Stomp Festival in Louisville. So
yeah.
what's it like to be on stage and now be putting this tour together?
Yeah, dude. So, the first year I moved to Nashville, I just did a ton of acoustic ride arounds around Nashville on like Midtown, the Midtown area, a little bit on Broadway. And then my boy David Morris asked me to come, and we've done three tours with him, and I opened up acoustic for him. The first time was like 30-minute sets, and then the last two were like 45-minute sets. So I've had a lot of experience of being in front of people with just me and an acoustic guitar. And the last 2 months I've gotten a full band, which is it's a different show. It's a different vibe. I love it to death. And we're about to go out and do our first little headline at the Tin Roofs. And, dude, I'm so excited. We got rehearsal tomorrow, like a 6-hour rehearsal. So we're going to lock it in and try to knock it out this weekend. We're in Orlando, and I got all the dates on my Instagram. So if we're coming to a city near y'all, if you're listening, come out. It's full band. and it's going to be a party. There's going to be some ballads, some sad songs, of course, because that's who I am. I have that side. There's going to be a lot of fun going on too.
I was going to say you're going to get the full gamut with you, and this is also obviously every show I ask the same question to start: favorite drink, go-to drink. But this might be my favorite question though to ask, and it's what's your favorite song right now to perform?
Oh wow, that's a great question. My favorite song to perform. There's two. So there's two. I can't choose. They're literally tied. It's like soccer. It's soccer. You can have ties. So
there can be a draw.
Yeah, there can be a draw. So I love performing Oklahoma Sooner, which has been on the radio in Oklahoma, and that's been a really close one because I grew up an Oklahoma Sooner fan, and that we were able to flip the hook or flip the title on that song is really fun. People connect. And then two is probably, I love performing all of them, but it's a song I have coming out that's not out. It's called Sunburn. So there's a little sneak peek. That song has been connecting live without it being out to the point where like you get to the last hook of the song and people are singing it back. It's a pretty catchy song and not very hard to like take in, but it feels good. And I'd say those two, Oklahoma Sooner and Sunburn. I love Cadillac Coupe. I just played it acoustically live, but I've never played a full band, so that's about to happen. So that'll probably end up being the answer. But yeah, dude, it's been such a blast. And yeah, I'm excited to finally do my first full band show, like by myself headlining this weekend.
I was gonna say, I mean, I love that, and you talk about growing up in Oklahoma, so I'm guessing horns down, isn't that right?
Horns down always, dude. 100%. 100%. I get a lot of, this is random, and that's pretty much my life is random, but I wear a New York hat. I'm actually a New York Yankees fan, always have been, but people don't get it because I'm from Oklahoma. But I was just in New York, and people were like pretty much hearing my accent kind of and judging me for wearing this hat. And I was like, do you want to know the full batting order? Do you want to know? I can literally tell you the full team, probably more than you do. So get off of me. But yes, horns down, go Sooners, Boomer Sooner, New York Yankees, and sadly, go Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys. Maybe one day we'll pull it together. But it's been a hard 20, whatever. I haven't really seen them win it all ever. So one day.
I was gonna say that something you got to balance it all out. That's how it works. And
then go Thunder. Thunder are number one for me. So Thunder will always be number one. So as you can tell, I'm a sports guy. I like watching every sport. But Oklahoma City Thunder are rolling. So let me predict it right now, since we're on August 5th, 2024. Oklahoma City, use this clip if they do it. Oklahoma City will win the NBA championship in 2025. Just mark that.
I like it.
Use this clip if it happens.
I like it.
Because it's August 5th, 2024, and they're going to win it in 2025, and everyone's going to say, how'd that happen? And then you show this clip.
Jake put it out there. And I was going to say, now, as a Sooner fan, are you excited for the moving to the SEC?
Yeah, dude. That's what feels really good. Lincoln Riley left, and he didn't want any piece of that. So the fact that we brought in Brett Venables, and I feel really good about what we got going on. We are young. I'm a fan of Jackson Arnold. I'm a fan of our team. We're a little young for sure. So I think this year we'll figure it out. I definitely think we're going to be competitive. People that are saying we're not going to be competitive are ridiculous. We're OU football. We're Oklahoma Sooners. We're going to be competitive. Now, will we win it this year? Probably not. But you give us 2 years, we start bringing our recruits in, figuring out the system, figuring out the SEC, the atmospheres. Yes, we will be just fine. And go Sooners, Boomer Sooner. We're going to figure it out. And horns down, Texas sucks. I like people from Texas, but your school and the football team sucks. So, yeah.
All I can say is I can't wait till all the Texas fans get horns down everywhere they go.
That's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. I love the state of Texas, but I will never be a fan of the Texas Longhorns ever.
I love that because I grew up in West Virginia, so we don't came into the Big 12 there a little late. But they didn't like the horns down, and now I'm in Lexington in Kentucky near UK, and I just can't wait to see what happens when everyone gives them the horns down and they're a little upset.
Everyone. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a battle, but I'm excited for the SEC, man. We didn't win it last year, but we dominated the Big 12 for a lot of the last decade. And it was just like, yeah, let's, when the opportunity came, let's go play some big boy ball and play the Georgias and the Alabamas and the Tennessees, and let's go see what we're made of. And that's what we're in the best conference in the nation. And we're going to find out quick. You're going to get exposed if you ain't good enough. And we'll find out quick. And I feel good about how we're rocking. I feel real good.
I was gonna say, and when you're in Nashville, it's not hard to get to half of those games if they're on this side of the country.
That's exactly right. So I will definitely be going to games. I mean, that was another great point. Whenever I heard that, I was like, yo, I can go to like Ole Miss, and I can go to Alabama, and I can go to Tennessee, and I can go to Georgia. Yeah, you're right. It's like, this is nice. I moved 9 hours away, and it came closer to me. This is great.
See, you just things happen when you speak it into existence. Things happen.
That's it, brother. That's it. You got it.
And like I said, Cadillac Coupe's out. You teased that another song at some point will probably be coming out.
Yeah.
So what else can folks expect from you? The rest of this year. I've seen you in the studio. I think I saw you in the studio with one of my past guests, Scoot Teasley. I think. I think you guys were working on some stuff. So what else can we expect from you?
Yeah, dude, Scoot's great. I like to write stuff from my artist side, and then I love to write for other people, like I did in LA. So it's been great to write for people like Scoot and some other artists. What to expect from me is a lot of shows. Been writing a ton, and it's like time to be out in front of people and build that organic fan base with a full band, and just connect. A lot of music. I'm independent. I can put out music whenever I want. It's got to feel right. It's got to be the right time. So a lot of music, a lot of shows. That's pretty much it as of now. There's I don't have a date, but we're working on a project where you can get like a full little list of songs you can binge. So we're working on that. I don't know when it's coming out, but we're doing that. We've written a ton, recorded a ton. So shows and a lot of songs coming out. So that's the vibes.
I like it. Sounds like you got a lot to look forward to. And like I said, man, I love Cadillac Coupe. As I went further down into the archives there, I loved a lot more. And I can't wait to see what's next. And folks, if you haven't, give Jake a listen. I think you're going to be pretty impressed.
Thank you so much, bro. That means a lot. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. And thanks for chatting and sharing a drink with me, man.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, man.
Find more from Hops and Spirits at hopspirits.com.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.